have for you is another kind of a system pick. I'm not actually personally building these systems, but I'm just taking some deals that I've found over the time and just some good overall products that I've had some time with and I know are good, reliable products that'll last you for a long time that you'll be able to get a lot of good use out of. And the first kind of big breakthrough right now is that the AMD 8350 processor has came down a decent amount in price to where it's really starting to look like a good mid-range processor for people over the i5 3570K. So this system is going to be focused on the AM3 Plus platform with the 8350 processor. There's a few reasons, and I'll get into that once I get into things, but this is about an $1,150 system. There is some ways to cut some corners and get it down much cheaper if you want to bump that down. But this is a system that I would personally feel comfortable running. There's a few ways you could cut a few corners to probably shave about $300-400 off this if you wanted without totally knocking down your performance enough to where it's going to make a difference. But this is going to be able to get you some very good performance even on higher resolution monitors if you're looking into some gaming. It's going to be great for video editing also. If you're looking at anything like that or anything that's going to require some CPU and some GPU horsepower. That being said, let's actually jump in. Again, this is it's under 1,200. I tried to keep it under there. It's about 1,168 actually. But again, I'll go through some things on how to cut a few corners. Don't have my laptop, so we're just using my phone for the products and list and just a few notes here to go over. But the first thing I actually like to pick is the case, and the case is completely personal to whoever wants it. Not everyone is happy with the case that I'm going to pick. If you don't like it, get a different one. But the first, we have the Fractal Design Arc MIDI R2. This is the one with the window. It is the newer one, and it's on sale for $90. Fractal makes some excellent cases. Their cases are by far some of the best for the price range. Even better than some of the Corsair cases in that price range, because there's not a whole lot of Corsair cases in the $80, $90 range that I personally would own. I actually own a Fractal. This is the Design Define R4 that you see behind me, and it was about $100, so if you want that, you could get $100 more. But I chose this mainly because it's a newer case. It does have a side window. It's not very big. It's not a huge, large, bulky case, and it's $90, which is a good price. I'll probably throw a picture up here somewhere, but it's got rubber grommeting. It's just all out. It's got the hydro-bearing fans. I don't think you get a bunch of them. I think you just get a couple, but you can pick up some Noctua fans if you want to better help with airflow. There's also a Cooler Master Storm Scout. It's the older version that I believe is like $44 or $54. I would recommend that if you're wanting to shave off $30 here. You know, get that, but I would definitely get the Fractal, the Arc MIDI R2. It's a very good looking case, and it's got that side window in it, which we're gonna hopefully get some benefit out of here. And for the motherboard with the Asus M5A99X, this is the revision 2. This is a regular standard ATX AM3 Plus motherboard, and it's on sale for $118.99, so about $119. That's one thing about going with the AM3 Plus processors, is that you can get motherboards a lot cheaper. They have a lot more functionality to them, and they're just a little bit cheaper on the price point. I would have loved to get a different, maybe like the Asus Sabertooth or something along that lines, or even I would have loved to get a red one. That would have really been what I would have went for. But I went with this mainly because it's $120, and you're going to get all the performance you need to out of it. Plenty of room for expandability. And for the processor, we went with the AMD FX 8350. It's on sale for $179.99 right now, about $180, which is around what it's been at. You know, usually it's on sale at different places for that price point. So for $180, the cheapest i5 3570K I found was $309 on Amazon. So this makes it $29 cheaper than that, which I think is, I mean, it's hands down. If you're not gonna, you know, that's just the way to go right now, that 8350 processor. For the PSU, I went with the Seasonic 750 watt 80 plus bronze, and it is $70. That is a hell of a deal for a Seasonic power supply. There was an OCC one that was about $20 cheaper, but I have actually used Seasonic power supplies, and they are, to me, they're the king in power supplies. If you can find one of those, especially one that gets good reviews. They had a few mishaps on a couple of them, but definitely pick one of those up. Even if you're not looking to build a system, that is a great price for a power supply. For the GPU, I spent a little more here. You could knock it down and shave $100 off this and get a different one. I went with the Asus 7950 Direct CU2, mainly because it's $318, $317.99, and you're going to get BioShock Infinite, Crysis 3, and Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon, or Blood, I believe that's what it is. Yeah, Blood Dragon Edition. All those are free, so you're going to get those titles thrown in. This is going to match very, very well with the processor, the RAM. The only thing is the motherboard is not going to be red, which is something that I didn't want to spend an extra $100 to get a Rampage or a higher end motherboard. But if you don't want that, if you want to cut a little corners, but the 7950 is one of AMD's high end. It actually is the high end. 7970, you can overclock this to get the same performance as the 7970. The Direct CU2, the ones that I've actually personally had, they were not the 7950. They were a 660 Ti and a 7870. They were the coolest cards that I've actually ever used before. They ran cooler than anything else. By far, I would definitely get one of those. If you want to get something a little cheaper, the Asus 7870 Direct CU2 is about $100 less. So if you want to cut $100 off, maybe if you're just gaming on 1080p and you don't ever plan on upgrading to 2560 by 1440 or 1600, that would probably be the way to go. I wanted to throw a 7950 in there in case you actually want to get a higher resolution monitor. I think especially with 4K monitors coming out and 4K TVs are really starting to come down in price. I mean, the Seagate 50-inch is it's like $12.99 on sale at times, and that's a 4K TV, which isn't a monitor yet, but at some point we're going to start seeing monitors and higher resolution displays. I'm running a high resolution display, and that's the way to go gaming. It's night and day compared to 1080p. For the memory, or the RAM, I went with the G-Skill Ripjaw, 8 GB. It is running at 1866 megahertz for the speed, so it is a little bit faster than your standard 1600. It's actually faster than what I'm running. I'm running 1600. And it is $66.99, and it's red. That's one reason why I got this, and it performs really well. The G-Skill Ripjaws, I mean, they're just great for getting as much performance out of there as you can. And they're red, so they're going to go along with the AMD color theme. Again, the motherboard, it kind of bothers me that the color's not red, but I just didn't want to pay that extra money for it. But I want to go with the all red theme and try to get it as red as possible. So in the future, if I do want to upgrade, I can do that. And I do throw an SSD in here. Every system, I think, should have an SSD. If you don't want it, take $100 off this and just go with the standard hard drive. For the SSD with the Samsung 840, 120 gigabyte standard, just 840 edition. I have one of these. I have it in the 250 gigabyte version, I believe 240 or 250. They're great drives, just for everyday general use. I believe that I have one of those as my boot drives even. I either have that, or I also have a 256 Pro that I might be using as my boot. I forget, but definitely pick one of those up. Samsung makes some great hard drives and SSD. Well, SSDs, they don't make hard drives. Not that I'm aware of. And for your hard drive, Seagate Barracuda 1 terabyte, $60. That's just for your general storage, games, any other type of files you might have. I have a Seagate Barracuda. It's 2 terabyte. I've had it for 3 or 4 years. Haven't had any issues out of it. Actually, I haven't had any issues with any hard drives. I'm going to have to knock on some wood there, and hopefully nothing happens to any of them. But I've had really good luck out of the Seagate Barracuda drives. The one in my system I use every day now and then, just pulling files here and there, and I haven't had any issues with it. And so that gives us a big storage drive. For the cooler, I went with the Corsair H100, so I can overclock the crap out of the 8350. The Corsair H100 is on sale right now for $80. That's the reason why I didn't bump up to get the H100i or get the H110. H100 will fit in this case in the Fractal Arc MIDI R2. It does say that it'll fit in this case. I looked at the description there. And I mean, I have a H100i here in the Fractal Design R4, and even if you have to modify, but it should fit in there pretty easy. I didn't have to modify anything on mine. And then for Windows 7, it's $90, but actually I would probably bump that up and pay $120 for Professional. Get Windows 7 Professional so you can use all that memory We did get 8 gigabytes, so I do want to be able to use that. So that's something I would probably do. If you want home, it's 90. If you want professional, it's I believe it's around 120, 129, so you will have to bump up a little bit there. And for your DVD CD, I didn't use one. I haven't owned a DVD or CD drive in forever. When I had to reinstall my operating system, I actually borrowed one from someone. Maybe just do that. I don't know. If you need one, it's $15. 15, 20 bucks. You can get a Lite-On or Asus or LG. Just get whichever one's out there. You're never going to use it. You're going to use it once and that's it. Everything else is all online. I honestly haven't used one ever since I had to borrow that other one. And that's it. That's going to put our total at $1,168 and a few cents. So for about $1,200, I would throw in a few Noctua fans here so we can get a little bit better cooling on the H100. That'll put us about $1,200, especially if you get into the professional. I would probably upgrade to Windows 7 Professional or Windows 8. If you want to roll with Windows 8, go that route. A lot of people are transferring over to that now. At some point I will, just haven't had the need to yet. And that's going to be it for my AMD kind of high-end 8350 build.